removing consent language from a bill is wild, considering your state has had the highest in 2017, 2018, according to the Department of Education. Probably another reason why they want to get rid of the Department of Education and all those statistics. But anyways, Indiana, what the fuck y'all got going on? Because Senator Gary Byrnes out of District 47 has decided to remove the consent language from the Senate Bill 442. Now, he has said that he wants to leave it up to the local municipalities, basically leaving it up to the school board as to whether or not, or the local school board as to whether or not this should be added in here. So you want to teach education, but you don't want to teach these children whether or not they can say yes or no to said act. Because here's the thing that we find very interesting, like I said early on, in 2017, 2018, as reported by the Department of Education, they had the highest assaults on record at a high school, at their high schools and things. They had over 12% that had non-consensual acts occur. So please explain to me why this would ever be removed from the bill. Now, remember, I said removed because there was a Democratic teacher, Tanya Pfaff, who added the consent language to the bill, and it went to the House that way. However, it was the equivalent of, your mama sent you to school this way and you came back home looking toe up. That's exactly what happened here. Because she is just like, do you not understand that a lot of these children's parents don't have these conversations with their kids? Yeah, she was talking about some of y'all. Please have this conversation with your children all the way down to elementary school. You need to have the consent conversation. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's like, God, dang it, I got to do this. But please have this conversation with your children because they need to know they have the power to say yes or no. And we can't say that that will stop all situations, but it will stop some. Because a lot of these little babies don't know that they have the power to say yes or no when they're in certain situations with people that they shouldn't be in the first place. But the fact that they're not being taught this, and the fact that you have a Republican leader who is trying to remove the very part of education. So what the curriculum is showing is a ultrasound progression of a baby, but you're not going to have them lead up to what led to said ultrasound. Somebody could take his phone and his laptop and his desk computer, because why is this, why is this a thing? Why did you have this removed? You have this removed for a reason. And that's frightening, because the other Democratic Party, Mr. Delaney, was just like, please tell me which counties, which areas in my state don't want this. He said, because I need to know. He said, because I'm pretty sure there's other people in those counties that do not know that there are people here wanting to remove that consent line. And of course, Byrnes could not, he couldn't, he had nothing. And when his office was called to have clarification on this, of course, it was met with silence, crickets, if you will. Again, if we're going to teach them about the act, teach them everything. I know this is a hard conversation to have, but trust me, it is one that, so many children have not had and needed and could have been prevented in certain situations. But it's always the Republicans that want to protect the children, right? Like I said, check his shit.